The educator Dr. Maria Montessori once said,
"The child developing harmoniously and the adult improving himself at his side make a very exciting and attractive picture."
Welcome to Montessori Education with me, Jesse McCarthy, where we talk raising children and educating students while bettering ourselves right alongside them. Hello, everyone out there. The craziness is definitely still here. So with all that's going on, I wanted to share something quick that's hopefully helpful for parents who are, kind of on lockdown, particularly those with toddlers through kindergarten age children at home. So about a week ago, I put together a related article. It's called Parent-Teacher Paella. There's a strange title for sure, but it's about keeping it all together during these, strange times. I'm going to share here a few things from that article, and it's connected to practical life activities. Now, if you're not familiar with, Montessori terminology of practical life, for ease, it's basically any everyday household activity. Making, unmaking the bed, buttoning, unbuttoning shirts, helping to prepare meals, doing laundry, cleaning shoes, watering plants, taking care of a pet if you have one, vacuuming, organizing closets, cleaning out the refrigerator, this type of thing. And the possibilities are really endless. I mean, your creativity and your child's creativity too will really determine how many things get added to this list. For instance, there's a cool one I heard recently, though it's also a little depressing as you'll see. But so basically you tell your kids you're going to pretend that you're going to all go to the beach or a friend's pool, something like that. And every family member packs a bag or backpack, whatever, for a beach or pool day. So your daughter or son gets their bathing suit, a towel, maybe some sunscreen, this type of thing. I mean, it's like a real prep for a fun day in the sun. Now, most children are going to love this, or they do love this. And even if they don't actually get to go, just ensure you do make it crystal clear that the whole thing is pretend, that, none of us are going to the beach right now or over to a friend's house for a big pool party. That's kind of the depressing part, that's just not real. But I can almost assure you the children, again, will love this experience of just doing the prep work as if they're going to go. Many of them will just want to get straight into the bathing suit at home, I'm sure. Now, beyond these kind of uniquely creative practical life activities that you could do at home right now, given the circumstances, there are, these Montessori classics, I would say, like washing a table. So for those of you who are interested, I'll share a link in the show notes on how to do that. So washing a table, just like a pro. So, as a star Montessori teacher might do it in the classroom. Now, the overall idea here, and this is with any practical life activity, is to have daily things that a child can eventually do on his or her own at home with just a little bit of guidance at first from you. And an important, maybe additional note here for you as kind of a parent teacher now, this mixed dual role you kind of have, is that there's no need for big, long explanations like some of us might be used to from our teachers back in the day. So just demonstrate yourself how something's done and then step back. As the Montessori educator Sylvia Duvevoy once said, quote, "Children do not learn by listening, they learn by doing," end of quote. So after you demonstrate something for your child, on one of these activities and how it's done, and definitely slower than you normally would do it on your own, then you just let them go at it on their own. So, they can try it out. Of course, with some of these activities, things could get messy, but even, cleaning up the messes is part of the process. And if that part is not treated as a kind of chore by you, something bad, but again, as rather something engaging, then your child can come to even enjoy cleaning up. Now, I know this might sound crazy to some of us adults who we'd rather just someone else clean up everything for us, really. But a child is in a very different stage and mindset than we're in now as, kind of grown-ups. And on this whole mindset or process note, I want to emphasize something that's hugely important with practical life, and especially with children who are around age 5 or 6 or anything lower than that. So all the way down to toddler. It's that at this age range, the process is the purpose. In other words, the result or end product, like a made bed or an organized closet or wonderful meal, these are not actually the goal for a child. It is the process, the doing that matters. For instance, with cleaning a table, for a young child, it's the act of getting a cloth, of wetting and putting soap on it, of moving that soapy cloth all around a table, of drying that table afterwards. These actions are what's important to the child and also to her inner development. On a deeper level here, this is one way in which children strengthen executive functioning skills. If you're unfamiliar with those, I'd say throw a Google or Wikipedia party with yourself. I've been having a lot of these lately, actually, for me. Anyway, the point here is that unlike us adults, the child is not necessarily focused on having a spotlessly clean table. She merely enjoys the act of cleaning, and eventually all on her own. And that all on her own part is important too. You don't want to be hopping in at each moment to correct. So if you see something is off, maybe next time just demonstrate the full process again yourself. Your child will implicitly pick up her own error and self-correct. So imagine for a moment if you lived on a farm with your family and your child just watched you milking cows all day. One day, no doubt, she would just hop right in and be good at it. And that would be without any explicit guidance from you, just from her watching. So in the case of, our homes today, surely she doesn't need you going into a lecture on the proper way to vacuum. Just do it the right way yourself, and again, slowly so she can see the steps. And eventually your child's going to be able to do it too. Now, more broadly with this in terms of, I would say, relationship building with your child, no one likes a nag. Just imagine if your husband or wife is over your shoulder saying, "Hey, you missed a spot there, honey." That is not fun. And the same for your child. And again, just so I'm keeping it really real here, depending on the activity that you and your child do together, or maybe your child does alone afterwards, there will probably be extra cleaning up for some of the practical life cleaning activities themselves. But as I already mentioned, that's okay and can actually be a positive for your child, assuming you don't turn cleaning up into a battle. So if you want some guidance on how to make, that cleaning up enjoyable, again, I'm going to share an example link with washing a table. So you'll be able to see the focus that children can have with that. And the same focus can occur in a million different practical life activities at home, which eventually you won't even need to be a part of, as your child will do them all kind of independently in the end. Now, in terms of resources, I also want to share what I think is probably the single best site on Montessori practical life. And that's in part because you get to see children doing such activities. So you see what occurs. It's montessoriguide.org. So this site offers wonderful footage of Montessori children and teachers in action, and it's accompanied by some really thoughtful commentary by veteran educators and parents. Now, although the videos are of classroom environments, so much of what you'll see and feel is applicable at home. Again, for those of you who don't know, the original Montessori classroom was literally called Children's House. It's very similar to a home. Okay, so summing up overall here, so you guys got it down in a quick little nutshell, there is so much opportunity for practical life in your house, and this really aids a child's development. Now, the idea for you as a parent, or this kind of parent-teacher now, is to demonstrate how some household task is done, so say watering plants or maybe dusting a bookshelf, and then allow your child to basically copy you. So just remember to do things much slower than you'd normally do. So each small step is important. Also, note that your child will be in it for the process, so the actual doing, not necessarily for the end result, as a lot of us adults are focused on. And related, do not feel you need to correct along the way. If you see something is done, quote, wrong, then later, maybe the next day or even a few days afterward, just model the correct way again. Your child will eventually absorb how to do it right, and that's without your having to be, that nag. Okay, that is it for today. Short and sweet. I hope this was helpful, even if just a little. And if you want to reach me with any suggestions, or you have questions or comments or whatever's on your mind, Jesse, Jesse, at montessorieducation.com. All right, take care, everyone, and adios for now.